Hey scientists, it's me, Scientist Caleb, and my brother, lab assistant Luke, and today on the Caleb and Luke's Mega Science Show, we're going to do some chemical reactions, ones that you can do at home. A chemical reaction is when you take two or more ingredients and mix them together and something happens. It could be like when you make lemonade, when you put the lemon, the water, and the sugar together, and you mix them together, they change into lemonade. Today's experiment is going to use vinegar and baking soda. Now before I mix them, I'm going to ask lab assistant Luke, do you think when we mix these two together, are they going to do something?
No.
Okay, so Luke thinks nothing's going to happen. You know, a piece of cheese. All right. And always remember, safety first, so I'm going to put on my safety goggles. Pretty cool. All right, here we go. We're going to mix them together. And look at that. They did end up doing something. Now, what's happening there is the vinegar is what's known as an acid. And the baking soda is what's known as a base. And when the acid and the base mix together, they don't really like each other, so they expand and they erupt, just like you saw. Let's try it again, but a little different. This time, we're going to put the vinegar into the bottle. And we're going to put a balloon that I put baking soda in, so there's baking soda in this balloon. I put it in before. We're going to put it right over top. All right, Luke. So, here's the question. Do you think something's going to happen to the balloon when we mix the two ingredients?
No.
No, he says no again. Let's see. Let's test his theory. Let's see what's going to happen. And look at that. The balloon is starting to inflate. All right, so the reason that it does that is when they mix together, not only do they expand and erupt, they also release a gas, and what's happening right now is this balloon is filling up with that gas. So that's a chemical reaction. All right, we have one more special experiment to do. We gotta clean up a little bit, that's part of science. All right, here you can have another piece of cheese, Mr. Lab Assistant. All right, our next experiment is called Elephant's Toothpaste. This is one that you can do at home. It's pretty easy and it's got a pretty cool reaction. So what you're gonna need is some yeast, some warm water, just a little bit. I warmed it up in the microwave. A container to put it all in. A spoon for mixing. Hydrogen peroxide. Now this is just regular hydrogen peroxide. If you want to have an even cooler reaction, you can use what's known as 40 volume hydrogen peroxide, and it'll do something a lot bigger. And a little bit of dish soap. So what we need to do first, put on our safety goggles to be safe. We're going to pour some hydrogen peroxide into the jar. Not too much, just a little bit. Next, we're going to take our soap. Luke, do you want to do the soap actually? Ready? Good job, thank you. All right, we're going to put it there. Next, we'll take off this. I just put this on here to keep the water warm. And we're going to put the yeast, which I put in this cup, in to the water. And we're going to mix it. Luke loves to spill things, so I'll mix it near him so he can see. Let's mix it up. Make sure it's all nice and put together. All right, so that looks good to me. Okay, so our next part is we're gonna pour the yeast water into the hydrogen peroxide and soap and see what happens. But before we do, actually, Luke, is something going to happen?
Yes.
Yes, good job. Let's see. Let's see what we're gonna get. And as you can see, it immediately starts to expand, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's very puffy, and it kind of looks foamy, but if you touch it, it's slimy. It's not very foamy, but you do have to be careful because this can be very hot. So if you're going to touch it, wait a couple minutes until it cools down. But look at this. There. All right, guys. So we'll pour this. Let's just see it. It looks kind of like pancake batter. So what's happening in this reaction with the elephant toothpaste is the hydrogen peroxide is made up of two things, hydrogen and oxygen. And when you put the yeast in with it, the yeast acts like a catalyst, and a catalyst is something that accelerates a chemical reaction and makes it happen. So the yeast comes in and it takes away all of the oxygen, but then it gets trapped in the bubbles. So the foam that you're seeing is all the oxygen coming out and making the bubbles with the soap. And that is the science behind elephant toothpaste.